Good afternoon and welcome to the webinar. Congratulations on making it to the next phase of the application process. My name is Lisa Karmacharya and I serve as the Executive Director for the Mississippi Charter School Authorizer Board. I'm looking forward to walking through this presentation with you to ensure your application process is successful. The purpose of today's training will be to provide you with an overview of the RFP process, to outline our expectations, to highlight important areas of emphasis, to point out important dates, to review in detail the 3 stages of the process, and to provide information on the Epicenter platform for applicant submissions, as well as information on where to go for technical assistance. Let's talk about eligibility. Mississippi state law outlines specific requirements for all groups submitting charter school proposals. For example, only nonprofit organizations may hold a charter in Mississippi. Charter holders may only contract with nonprofit educational service providers, and applicant team members must provide proof of U.S. citizenship for all board members, school staff, and if applicable, the key staff of the ESP. Any applicant proposing to open a charter school in a school district rated A, B, or C, based on the most recent accountability ratings, must also receive approval by the local school board. So what about the 2019 evaluation process? What does that look like? Well, the initial stage was your letter of intent and eligibility check, which all of you have completed successfully. That stage will be followed by 3 stages of review. Stage 1 will include a completeness check, with your proposal deadline being May 10th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Once completing stage 1, you will move on to the threshold quality review, and those findings will be distributed on July the 8th. Stage 3 will be independent evaluation team reviews, and final proposal decisions will be September the 9th. So what happens during stage 1? All eligible proposals are reviewed for completeness before they are distributed to the evaluator. If a proposal is incomplete or incorrectly formatted, the applicant will have 48 hours to remedy any issue and resubmit their proposal. Proposals are deemed incomplete will not be eligible to proceed to stage 2. Again, I want to point out these deadlines. May 10th is your deadline for completed proposals, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Your 48-hour window to remedy any issues and resubmit your proposal will begin on May 22nd, where initial completeness findings are reported and distributed, and that will conclude on May the 24th, where completeness remedy and resubmission timeline ends. Final completeness findings are distributed on June the 3rd. Stage 2 is the threshold quality review, and that takes place during June and July. This is where a team of independent evaluators will assess critical elements of each proposal against the published Stage 2 evaluation criteria. It's important to note that any applicant who fails to meet the minimum threshold will not be eligible to proceed to Stage 3. This review takes place during June 4th through June 25th, and the threshold quality review findings will be distributed on July the 8th. So stage 3 is the independent evaluation team review, and this takes place during August and September. This is where teams of independent evaluators will evaluate each proposal against the published criteria and discuss their findings based on the written materials that have been submitted. Following the evaluation of proposals, applicants will have the opportunity to demonstrate their capacity to open and maintain a high-quality charter school, as well as to answer specific questions about their proposal during an in-person capacity interview. I'd like to point out at this time that these in-person capacity interviews are held only on those dates highlighted below, July the 30th through August the 2nd. So be sure and mark your calendar at this point in time to note again that those capacity interviews are held during that window only. And you may have a question about who needs to attend those capacity interviews with respect to, say, board members. It is important that, if available, board members attend. Applicants will receive a copy of the independent evaluation team's recommendation and will have an opportunity to provide a written response to the Charter Authorizer Board before the board votes to approve or deny any of the applications. Important to note here, July 9 through July 30, the independent evaluation team will review proposals. And again, I want to point out, July 30th through August 2nd is when the capacity interviews will take place. During mid-August, at a date to be determined, the Authorizer Board will host public hearings in the communities where these proposed public charter schools are to be located. The Charter Authorizer Board will work with applicant groups to schedule each of the hearing dates, and transcripts of those public hearings will be provided to all Mississippi Charter School Authorizer Board members with all other application materials. On August the 15th, independent evaluation team recommendations will be delivered to the applicants. And August 22nd, the deadline for applicants to respond to the evaluation team's recommendation will be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. September the 9th, during the board meeting, the Mississippi Charter School Authorizer Board will make their final proposal decisions. So what are the components of the proposal? The first component is your proposal cover sheet. The cover sheet includes basic information about the applicant team and the proposed school. It's very similar to the letter of intent. The narrative proposal, the proposal is the formal application to the Charter Board and is a comprehensive, very detailed description of the school's educational, operational, and financial plans. The next component is your attachments. Throughout the proposal, specific documents are requested in addition to the narrative answers, and attachments may not contain additional narrative unless specified. A comprehensive list of the attachments is provided in the instructions in the RFP. I'm going to talk again about your capacity interviews, and be sure to note July 30 through August 2nd will be the only days these capacity interviews are held, and this is when you will have the opportunity to demonstrate your capacity to open and maintain a high-quality charter school and answer any specific questions that the evaluators may have about your proposal. So what are the proposal specification details? Applicants must submit all proposals electronically through the electronic platform known as Epicenter and must use the following templates. The letter of intent and eligibility packet template is a Word document. Your proposal cover sheet and enrollment projections are also a Word document. The school-wide curriculum description, your proposal narrative template, your statement of assurances, your staffing chart template, and your charter school board member information sheet are all Word documents. The financial plan workbook is an Excel document, and all of these documents must be submitted through Epicenter, the online portal. All elements of the proposal must be typed with 1-inch page margin and 12-point font, single-spaced. Each major section of your proposal, the school summary, the education program, and each addendum must begin on a separate page as indicated in the template document. Be sure to adhere to all page limits as indicated. If you believe a particular question does not apply to your team or your proposal, be sure to respond "not applicable" and state the reason this question is not applicable to your team or your proposal. All required documents must be uploaded in the file format specified and indicated on the previous slide. Late or incorrectly formatted submissions will not be accepted. When submitting a resume or a biography, be sure to label each document with the individual's affiliation with the proposed school, such as a board member, a principal, or a teacher. And be sure to review all elements of your proposal for total completeness before submitting. And just as a reminder, all proposals will be reviewed for completeness before they are accepted and distributed to the evaluation teams. And if that proposal is found to be incomplete or incorrectly formatted, that is when your 48-hour window to rectify will open. A complete list of attachments to accompany your proposal will be found on page 8 of the RFP. Be sure to note that not all attachments will be applicable for all applicants, and it is your responsibility to ensure that everything you submit is required for your proposal. Do not upload documents for any attachment that's not applicable, and recognize that additional attachments are required for various addenda. So now I'd like to talk about the applicant code of conduct. Members of the Mississippi Charter School Authorizer Board are obligated to make all decisions in the best interest of children, free from personal or political influences. And charter school applicants have the responsibility of respecting and upholding the integrity of the school proposal process. Specifically, charter school applicants shall not initiate or attempt to initiate any activity with a charter board member with the exception of the public hearing. They shall not initiate or attempt to initiate any activity with a member of the independent evaluation team, or direct any communication, including a proposal document, to a charter board member or to a member of the team. Charter school applicants found to be in violation of any of these requirements may be deemed ineligible for consideration in future proposal processes. And I'd like to point out here that all charter school proposal materials submitted to the Charter School Authorizer Board do become public records. So keep in mind, there are no page limits for individual sections except the school summary, attachments, and addenda, and the total response may not exceed 50 pages. Also keep in mind that your application is a professional document. The quality of that document that you submit should reflect the quality of the school that you propose to open. Evaluation teams will be able to navigate well-organized, effectively edited documents and focus their energy on reviewing the content of the application. Grammar, spelling, and formatting all make an impression on evaluators. I'd like to talk about plagiarism now for just a minute. The University of Southern Mississippi defines plagiarism as copying words, concepts, or ideas from any source and submitting that material as one's own without acknowledging the source by the use of footnotes, quotation marks, or both. The Charter School Authorizer Board has adopted this definition from the University of Southern Mississippi Academic Integrity Policy that defines and considers plagiarism, including the copying of language from another charter application without proper attribution, as grounds for immediate denial. The Charter Board also understands that in order to implement an existing curriculum, an instructional framework, or educational model with fidelity, key concepts must be discussed. However, it's not acceptable to copy and paste this discussion or description from another source. A high-quality applicant team with the capacity to operate a high-quality school must be able to thoughtfully explain in their own words how they intend to educate the children. Page references and notes. The proposal cover sheet is found on pages 10 and 11 and must be completed by all applicants, new or existing. The executive summary narrative is limited to 2 pages and will include your mission and vision, educational need and anticipated student population, your education plan and school design, your community engagement and leadership and governance. The enrollment summary is also limited to 2 pages. and new operator proposals are found on pages 14 through 26. Epicenter, the online platform for submission to complete the application, has created a training video to support you as you work through this application process. You can access that video by logging into Epicenter and following these steps, or simply clicking here. Financial submissions and MAEP support. A separate training webinar will be provided during the application window to ensure that you have a thorough understanding of both our state funding formula, MAEP, and the required submissions related to financials. The details of this webinar will be forthcoming. So let's talk about technical assistance and support. This is going to depend on the type of issue that you're having. For example, platform submissions will all need to be directed to Epicenter, and I'd like to point out that their support is only from 8 to 5 Eastern Time, and you can contact them at the 800 number provided, as well as the link to support. The RFP content, your budget template support, and FAQs will all be provided by the Mississippi Ed Accelerator. Any support needed, again, regarding your RFP content, your budget template support, or simply an FAQ will be provided by the Mississippi Education Accelerator. At this point, I want to just thank you all for your attendance, wish you the very best, and remind you just of a few things. To watch and re-watch this webinar with your entire team, refer back to the specifics outlined and detailed in the RFP. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Ed Accelerator or Epicenter for questions. Begin your application early and review your documents for accuracy before submitting. We are super excited about our future partners in this work, and we wish all of you a successful application cycle. Thank you for joining us.